crowd, he's done his magic. It's a very simple format. I'm just going to have a few quick words with the Prime Minister, and then, of course, it's over to you to ask the questions. And in the style of the new speaker, we're going to say, let's have fairly short questions and short answers so we can get through as many as possible.
Absolutely. Can I say just what a pleasure it is to be in Newcastle again, to be at this great museum, which is 75 years old, and to have such a wonderful audience. I hope I'll be able to answer some of your questions, and I look forward to our discussion over the next hour. This is a great city and a great region. I'm proud to be here.
My name is Karen Archbold, and I'm a resident of deepest rural Northumberland. The Prime Minister has talked about the need for a balance in energy, low-carbon energy provision. We have a situation in Northumberland where we have an absolute spate of onshore wind farm applications. Now, if I can tell you just a little bit about this, in the area where I live, this amounts to potentially 8 separate wind farms totalling in excess of 125-metre turbines, promoted by 6 different developers, all of whom trot out the mantra of government policy to justify those activities in that few square kilometres of Northumberland. Would the Prime Minister therefore agree that for the Secretary of State for Energy and Climate Change to describe local objections to such proposals as socially unacceptable is unhelpful and only serves to further alienate large tracts of the rural electorate who would otherwise probably be extremely supportive of the Labour government and its policies?
We can say, I think the Minister for the North East actually is very familiar with some of the issues involved here.
Well, thank you for your question, and I'll get Ed Miliband to come up to the region at some point to talk to you, but maybe Nick can deal with this specifically.
Our region has got a very strong history in the energy sector. The future for us is in the offshore wind farm industry. It could be a great new industry for us based on the North Banks of the Tyne, with the investment that One North East made at Narek in Blythe has turned out to be a huge winner for us as a region. Every single player in this market right around the world has come to the northeast of England to look at what we've got in the east end of Newcastle and the North Tyneside, and has gone up to Blythe and been very impressed at the testing centre they have there, because it's quite unusual. It's something quite specific to our region because it's so large and so far advanced. Now, as far as the onshore wind farm is concerned, of course there is a planning process, and of course residents worry about the lack of amenity. I think there are also landscape issues as well that are very important to us and should be taken into account. I mean, we live in one of the most beautiful regions in the world. It is a great treat to explore Northumberland and County Durham and to discover the relatively undiscovered beauty of the region. It's why I say that the way forward, I think, for the region is in the offshore sector. And I mean,
but Nick, at the same point, I mean,
these things are not small. I mean, it's like having the Eiffel Tower and putting the London Eye on top of it, just to give you some idea of the scale of these things. They're effective, they work, the private sector wants to invest in them, and we have the skills and the energy to do the work.
But on the onshore question, Nick, a number of your parliamentary colleagues have been mirroring the feeling of residents that they're powerless because you have different companies putting in these planning applications, and they're not regarded in the round. Each one is considered by itself, and suddenly you find there's 5 more within a short radius.
Ultimately, these decisions have to be taken by the planning authority, and there is an appeal process, but I do agree that the decision should be made in the round rather than on an episodic basis.
We did promise the 2 ladies sitting